My dear chaste and pious wife, I have tested, on the basis of strict chastity, your love for your husband, and you have passed the examination most successfully. I have purposely agitated you by speaking many words which are not applicable to your character. But I am surprised to see that not a pinch of your devotion to me has been deviated from its fixed position. My dear wife, I am the bestower of all benedictions, even up to the standard of liberation from this material world. And it is I only who can stop the continuation of material existence and call one's back home back to Godhead. One whose devotion for me is adulterated worships me for some material benefit, just to give himself in the world of material happiness, culminating in the pleasure of sex life. One who engages himself in severe penance and austerities just to attain this material happiness is certainly under the illusion of my external energy. Persons who are engaged in my devotion service simply for the purpose of material gains and sense gratification are very foolish. Hare Krishna. Sorry, some call came in between, so I was uh, distracted. Persons who are engaged in my devotion service simply for the purpose of material gains and sense gratification certainly are very foolish. Material happiness based on sex life is available in the most abominable species of life, such as the hogs and dogs. No one should try to approach me for such happiness because it is available even if one is put into hellish condition of life. It is better therefore for persons who are simply after material happiness and not after me to remain in that hellish condition. Material contamination is so strong that everyone is working very hard day and night for material happiness. The show of religiousness, austerity, finance, humanitarianism, philanthropy, politics, science, everything is aimed at realizing some material benefit. For the immediate success of material benefit, the materialistic persons generally worship different demigods, and under the spell of material personalities, propensities, they sometimes take to the devotion service of the Lord. Sometimes it so happens that if a person sincerely serves the Lord and at the same time maintains material ambition, the Lord very kindly removes the source of material happiness. Without finding any recourse in the material happiness, the devotee then engages himself absolutely in pure devotion service. So here, Lord Krishna is telling that persons who have ulterior motives, some material desire, they worship him for material benefit, and the topmost pleasure in this material world is sex life. Those who are allured by sense gratification, they want to enjoy sex life by worshipping Krishna and asking him all kinds of material benedictions. सो भगवान बोल रहे हैं कि ऐसे व्यक्ति को मेरी भक्ति नहीं करनी चाहिए और वो इसी जगत में पड़ा रहेगा क्योंकि अभी भी उसके मन में भोग की इच्छा है, भोग वृत्ति है। लेकिन जो सेवा वृत्ति या भक्ति भाव से भगवान की भक्ति करते हैं, सेवा करते हैं, उनकी पूजा करते हैं, उनके ऊपर भगवान बहुत जल्दी कृपा करते हैं। ये हमने कल पढ़ा है इसके बारे में कि वो भगवान का प्रामाणिक डिवोटी है। All others are non-devotees or they are on the way to become devotees, which will take very long time. Without finding any recourse in material happiness, the devotee then engages himself absolutely in pure devotion service. तो जब एक प्रामाणिक भक्त समझ जाता है कि भौतिक इच्छाओं में कोई आनंद, कोई सुख नहीं है, तो वो क्या करता है? शुद्ध भक्ति की ओर अपने आप को लगा लेता है। ओके, विल गो अहेड। Prashant Prabhu can read next two paragraphs, and after Prashant Prabhu, Dhruv Prabhu can read.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, continue.
Lord Krishna continued, my dear best of the queens, it is clearly understood by me that you have no material ambition. Your only purpose is to serve me, and you have long been engaged in unalloyed service. Exemplary, unalloyed devotional service not only can bestow upon the devotee liberation from this material world, but it also promotes him to the spiritual world for being eternally engaged in my service. Persons who are too addicted to material happiness cannot render such service. Women whose hearts are polluted and full of material desires devises various means of sense gratification while outwardly showing themselves to be great devotees. My dear honored wife, although I have thousands of wives, I do not think that any one of them can love me more than you. The practical proof of your extraordinary position is that you had never seen me before your marriage. You had simply heard about me from a third person, and still your faith in me was so fixed that even in the presence of my qualified, rich, and beautiful men of the royal order, you did not select any one of them as your husband, but on ha- instead on having me. You neglected all the princes present, and very politely you sent me a confidential letter inviting me to kidnap you. While I was kidnapping you, your elder brother Rukmī violently protested and fought with me. As a result of the fight, I defeated him mercilessly and disfigured his body. At the time of Aniruddha's marriage, when we were all engaged in playing chess, there was another fight with your brother Rukmī on a controversial verbal point, and my elder brother Balram finally killed him. I was surprised to see that you did not utter even a word of protest over this incident. But because of your great anxiety that you might be separated from me, you suffered all the consequences without speaking even a word. As the result of this great eternally under eternally under your control, you sent your
No,
messenger
no.
to me invite.
Sorry, you missed one line. As a result of this great silence. So this line
Oh,
you
oh
missed.
yeah. Great. As the result of this great silence, my dear wife, you have purchased me for all time. I have become eternally under your control. You sent your messenger to me inviting me to kidnap you, and when you found that there was a little delay in my arriving on the spot, you began to see the whole world as vacant. At that time, you concluded that your beautiful body was not fit to be touched by anyone else. Therefore, thinking that I was not coming, you decided to commit suicide and immediately end that body. My dear Rukmini, such great and exalted love for me will always remain within my soul. As far as I am concerned, it is not within my power to repay you for your unalloyed devotion to me.
Thank you.
The Supreme.
Thank, thank you. So here Krishna is remembering all the instances which happened in the past where Rukmini has shown exemplary behavior of a devotee. And that's what purchased Krishna, how she tolerated the killing of her brother Rukmi by Balramji. But she did not speak a word. Why? Because she did not want to lose Krishna. Similarly, she sent messenger to call Krishna to Dwarka, and when she understood that, I mean, to call Krishna to Kondanepur, Vidarbha, and when she thought Krishna is not going to come, so she wanted to commit suicide, and but she was ready to give everything just to have Krishna in life. So that's why Krishna is telling that I cannot repay you for your unalloyed devotion to me. Same statement Krishna spoke to gopis. If you remember, on the night of Sharad Purnima, when the gopis left everything and went to Krishna, Krishna said, "Oh gopis, please be satisfied with your love only. I have no power in this creation to repay. The love which you have for me is pure and topmost of all the uh, devotees. I cannot repay for your pure love, your devotion to me." So like that, he's telling to Rukmiṇī also, because Rukmiṇī Maya is also expansion of Srimati Radharani. So there is no difference. And so in this way, Lord Krishna is glorifying Mother Rukmiṇī. Okay. Dhruv Prabhu can read next two paragraphs, and after that, Manish Prabhu can read.
Hare Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, certainly has no business being anyone's husband or son or father, because everything belongs to him and everyone is under his control. He does not require anyone's help for his satisfaction. He is Atmaram, self-satisfied. He can derive he can derive all pleasure by himself without anyone's help. When the Lord descends to play part of human being, he plays a role either as a husband, son, friend, or an enemy in full perfection. As such, when he was playing as a perfect husband of the queens, especially of Rukmiṇī, he enjoyed conjugal love in complete perfection. According to Vedic culture, although polygamy is allowed, none of the wives should be ill-treated. In other words, one may take many wives only if he is able to satisfy all of them equally as an ideal householder. Otherwise, it is not allowed. Lord Krishna is the world teacher. Therefore, even though he had not need of a wife, he expanded himself into as many forms as he had wives, and he lived with them as an ideal householder, observing the regulative principle, rules, and commitments in accordance with the Vedic injunction and the social laws and custom of society. For each of his 16,108 wives, he simultaneously maintained different palaces palaces different. So just scroll. Different different establishment and different atmosphere. Thus the Lord, although one exhibit himself as 16,108 ideal householder. Thus the ends of Bhaktivedanta purport of second volume, fifth chapter of Krishna, talks between Krishna and Rukmiṇī.
Yes. So Krishna expanded himself. Although Ekila Ishvara Krishna, Krishna is only one, but he expanded in 16,108 householders. Um, his expansions. And there were 16,100 palaces in Dwarka. For every queen, there was one palace, and Krishna spent time with all of them simultaneously. And none of the queens were disturbed. Why Krishna is not spending time with me? Krishna was present with everyone in every palace all the time. This is the difference between Krishna and Lord Ram. Krishna is Lila Purushottam. Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Lord Ram said, Ek Patni Vrat. So when Surpanakha came, Lord rejected him. When some other queen wanted to marry Lord Ram, Lord rejected him. But but Krishna, Kubja came, Lord Krishna accepted. After Kubja, then we see here so many 16,100 princes. They were in the uh, prison house of Bhaumasur. Krishna accepted all of them. Krishna accepted gopis. Krishna accepted the queen of Dwarika. Krishna accepted everyone. Why? Because Krishna is Purna Purushottam and Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. So this is the difference between Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. Krishna comes in his full opulences. So what Krishna can do, that no other incarnation has ever done. So so we, when we say Lord is great, but how Lord is great, for that we have to read Krishna book. And when we read all these pastimes, we will understand that what is the greatness of the Lord. then we'll be able to realize his greatness to some extent. Although his greatness is unlimited, but to some extent we can realize. Okay, let's move to the next chapter, the genealogical table of the family of Krishna. Manish Prabhu can read, and after Manish Prabhu, his brother Akshat Prabhu can read uh, next paragraph. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Pranam to Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, that pranam.
Krishna had 16,800 wives, and in each of them he begot 10 sons, all of them equal to their father in the opulence of strength, beauty, wisdom, fame, wealth, and renunciation. Like father, like son, all the 16,800 wives of Krishna were princesses. And when each saw that Krishna was always present in her respective palace and did not leave home, they considered Krishna to be a henpecked husband who was very much attached to them. Every one of them thought that Krishna was her very obedient husband. But actually, Krishna had no attraction for any of them, although each thought that she was the only wife of Krishna and was very, very dear to him. Lord Krishna, since he is Atmarama, self sufficient, was neither dear nor inimical to anyone of them. He was equal to all the wives and treated them as a perfect husband just to please them. For him, there was no need for even a single wife. In fact, since they were women, the wives could not understand the exalted position of Krishna nor the truths about him. All the princesses who were wives of Krishna were exquisitely beautiful, and each one of them was attracted by Krishna's eyes, which were just like lotus petals, and by his beautiful face, long arms, broad ears, pleasing smile, humorous talk, and sweet words. Influenced by these features of Krishna, they all used to dress themselves very attractively, desiring to attract Krishna by their feminine bodily appeal. They used to exhibit their feminine characteristics by smiling and moving their eyebrows, thus throwing spent arrows of sorry, conjugal love just to awaken Krishna's lusty desire for them. Still, they could not arouse the mind of Krishna or his sex appetite. This means that Krishna never had any sex relation with any of his many wives, save and expect to beget children.
Yes, very important. So Krishna had 10 children from every wife in Dwarka. So 16,108 into 10 means 1 lakh 61,000 plus children Krishna had, right? And every one of them was equally opulent and powerful and having same intelligence, renunciation, beauty, fame, just like Krishna. And here it is mentioned very important point that Krishna is self-sufficient. Atmaramasya Munayo. Krishna is Atmaram. He doesn't need anyone for his enjoyment, but he accepted all of them because they were his devotees. And the wives could not understand the exalted position of Krishna nor the truths about him. For him, there was no need for even a single wife. So here it is mentioned that Krishna, although these queens of Dwarika were very, very beautiful, Krishna never enjoyed any kind of sex relationship with them apart from begetting children. So Prabhupada used to say always that the sex is meant for procreation and not recreation. So procreation means for producing children, not for recreation or not for sense gratification. Prabhupada ka statement hai. Same thing is mentioned here. Okay, we'll go ahead. Akshat Prabhu is there. Manish Prabhu.
I'm so sorry, Prabhuji, but he is not being with me right now because he's sleeping in his room.
No problem. No
He slept
problem.
out.
No problem. So that's fine. Next time when he joins, we can also give him chance to read. So we have 5 more minutes, 5-10 minutes we have. So now we'll again go in turn, one paragraph each, and we stop for today. The queens of Dwarka were so fortunate that they got Lord Sri Krishna as their husband and personal companion. Although he is not approachable by exalted demigods like Brahma, they remained together as husband and wife, and Krishna, as an ideal husband, treated them in such a way that at every moment there was an increase of transcendental bliss in their smiling exchanges, talking, and mixing together. Each and every wife had hundreds and thousands of maid servants, yet when Krishna entered the palaces of his thousands of wives, each one of them used to receive Krishna personally by sitting him in a nice chair, worshipping him with all requisite paraphernalia, personally washing his lotus feet, offering him betel nuts, massaging his legs to relieve them from fatigue, fanning him to make him comfortable, offering all kinds of scented wood pulp, oils and aromatics, putting flower garlands on his neck, dressing his hair, getting him to lie down on the bed, and assisting him in taking his bath. Thus they served always in every respect, especially when Krishna was eating. They were always engaged in the service of the Lord. So here it is mentioned how they served Krishna in so many ways. Personally, although these queens they had hundreds and thousands of maid servants, but भगवान की सेवा वो लोग खुद किया करते थे. Personally, they would serve the Lord. So this is very important. We should do our seva ourselves, not that we always delegate कि आप कर दो, ये कर दो, वो कर दो. खुद करना चाहिए, क्योंकि भगवान की सेवा है. Of the 16,108 queens of Krishna, each of whom had 10 sons, there is the following list of sons of first 8 queens. Oh, तो यहाँ पर दिया है पहले जो उनकी 8 भगवान की जो मेन 8 क्वींस है, रुक्मणी, सत्यभामा, जामवती, मित्रविंदा, सत्या, लक्ष्मणा, कालिंदी, राइट. सो इस तरह से 8 क्वींस है, तो उनके बच्चों के नाम यहाँ पे दिए हैं. तो रुक्मणी से क्या हुआ? कृष्णा है 10 सन्स. उनके नाम क्या है देखिए? प्रद्युम्न, चारुदेशन, सुदेशन, चारुदेह, सुचारु, चारुगुप्ता, भद्रचारु, चारुचंद्र, विचारु, and Charu. None of them were inferior in their qualities to the divine father, Lord Shri Krishna. सब लोग क्वालिटी वाइज भगवान के समान ही थे. फिर आप देखिए आगे. Similarly, Satyabhama had 10 sons, and their names are as follows: Bhanu, Subhanu, Swarbhanu, Prabhanu, Bhanuman, Chandrabhanu, Brihat Bhanu, Atibhanu, Shri Bhanu, and Pratibhanu. The next queen, Jamvati, had 10 sons, headed by Samba. Their names as follows: Samba, Sumitra, Purujit, Shatajit, Sahasrajit, Vijaya, Chitraketu, Vasuman, Dravida, and Kratu. Lord Krishna was specifically very affectionate to the sons of Jamvati. Oh, जामवती की जो बच्चे थे भगवान को बहुत प्रिय थे. सांबक, साम की स्टोरी आगे भी आएगी. साम की स्टोरी आगे भी आएगी. By his wife Satya, the daughter of King Nagnajit, Lord Krishna had 10 sons. They are as follows: Veera, Chandra, Ashwasena, Chitragu, Vegavan, Vrisha, Ama, Shanku, Vasu, and Kunti. Among all of them, Kunti was very powerful. Krishna had 10 sons by Kalindi, and they are as follows: Shruta, Kavi, Vrisha, Veera, Subahu, Bhadra, Shanti, Darsha, Purnamas, and the youngest, Somaka. For his next wife, Lakshmana, the daughter of king of Madras province, he begot 10 sons of the names Praghosha, Gatravan, Simha, Bala, Prabala, Urdhvaga, Mahashakti, Saha, Oja, and Up, Up, Parajita. Similarly, his next wife, Mitravinda, had 10 sons. They are as follows: Vrika, Harsha, Anila, Gridra, Vardhana, Annada, Mahamsha, Pavana, Vani, and Shuddhi. His next wife Bhadra had 10 sons of the names Sangramjita, Brihatsena, Sura, Praharana, Arijit, Jaya, Jaya, Subhadra, Vama, Ayu, and Satyaka. Besides these uh, 8 chief queens, Krishna had 16,100 other wives, and all of them had 10 sons each। तो इस तरह से भगवान के 1,61,080 बच्चे थे, ऐसा इसमें लिखा है। ओके, नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ। प्रशांत प्रभु प्लीज रीड एंड देन ध्रुव प्रभु कैन रीड।
The eldest son of Rukmiṇī, Pradyumna, was married with Mayavati from his very birth, and afterwards he was again married with Ruk- Rukmavati, the daughter of his maternal uncle Rukmī. From this Rukmavati, Pradyumna had a son named Aniruddha. In this way, Krishna's family, Krishna and his wives, along with their sons and grandsons, even great grandsons, all combined together to include very nearly 1 billion family members. Rukmī, the elder brother of Krishna's first wife, Rukmiṇī, was greatly harassed and insulted in his fight with Krishna, but on the request of Rukmiṇī, his life was saved. Since the Rukmī had held a great grudge against Krishna and was always inimical towards him, nevertheless, his daughter was married with Krishna's son, and his granddaughter was married with Krishna's grandson, Aniruddha. This fact appeared to be a little astonishing to Mahārāja Parīkṣit when he heard it from Śukadeva Gosvāmī. I am surprised that Rukmī and Kṛṣṇa, who were so greatly inimical to one another, could again be united by marital relationships between their descendants. Parīkṣit Maharaj was curious about the mystery of this incident, and therefore he inquired further from Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Because Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a practical yogi, and nothing was hidden from his power of insight. A perfect yogi like Śukadeva Goswami can see past, present, and future in all details. Therefore, such yogis or mystics, there can be nothing concealed. When Parīkṣit Maharaj inquired from Śukadeva Goswami answered as follows.
यस, सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इसमें रुक्मी के बारे में वर्णन है। सो रुक्मी वॉज द ब्रदर ऑफ रुक्मिणी मैया एंड रुक्मी रिप्रेजेंट्स माइंड। ये हमने इसकी चर्चा पहले भी की है। रुक्मी जो है ये मन का प्रतीक है। द कंटेमिनेटेड पोल्यूटेड अनकंट्रोल्ड माइंड इज व्हाट रुक्मी। तो रुक्मी भगवान के प्रति हमेशा से ईर्ष्या भाव रखते थे, और जब उन्होंने देखा कि उनकी सहमति के बिना भगवान की शादी रुक्मिणी की शादी कृष्ण से हो गई, तो वो हमेशा से बदला लेना चाहते थे। लेकिन फिर क्या हुआ, कुछ समय के बाद में रुक्मी की जो बेटी थी उसका नाम दिया गया है रुक्मावती। रुक्मावती गॉट मैरिड टू कृष्णा सन प्रद्युम्न, और रुक्मी की जो पोती थी उसके शादी हो गई कृष्णा के पोते से, अनिरुद्ध से। तो ये पूछ रहे हैं ये ऐसा कैसे हो गया। तो परीक्षित महाराज पूछ रहे हैं ऐसा कैसे हुआ, तो उसका वर्णन आगे